Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a long and arduous 9-round season so far, but this is it. This is the first finale of the season here at GPVWC in 2014. This is the World Sports Series at Monza. We have six people in with a chance of winning the driver's title. We have 3 teams in with a chance of winning the team's title. It is open game, and at Monza, as the saying goes, anything can happen, more so here than at all. We had clean racing in the International Touring Cup on Wednesday. We had a bit of argy-bargy in the career ladder, a bit of Ursula Fortunes as such. What will these Porsches give us today? I am thoroughly looking forward to finding out who, at the end of this wonderful year of arguably the closest championship here at GPVWC in 2014, who's going to walk away with the first big prizes of the year. My name is James Kirk, taking through tonight, and alongside me once again is Mr. Ben Hackeson. Now, Ben, you missed out on Spa, but there was so much going on that I hope that you've at least tried to have a look at the broadcast to catch up in a way. Overall, Triple 20's first win. Tim Heinemann comes in to really shake up the field, and of course, in the aftermath, Harley Hamnett excluded from all championships at GPVWC for illegal activity. Now, what that has done to the actual team's title and driver's title is relatively little, apart from Enterprise GP falling down the order now to P8 in the teams. Otherwise, all very, very close still, and quite frankly, I wouldn't want to bet on any driver to win, because it could be any six of them, or any 3 of the teams even.
Yeah, it's the closest championship I think I've ever seen, going into the last 2 races, 1 round, at the fastest track on the calendar. Most overtaking points. It's sure to be a great 2 races. There's a few people in there just to shake it up as well. Canapino and Heinemann are the 2 fastest in practice right now, neither of which are in the championship contention.
I think perhaps it's worth saying, as Practice 1 has just finished before we head into our Super Pole qualification format for the last time this year, the leader of the guys who are mathematically in with a chance of winning the championship is in fact Kevin Siggy, the man who is last out of those 6 in P3. The next up is Ruud Heesterbeek in P4. Now, he comes into this round with 27 kilograms of weight ballast. Siggy's actually the only one of those 6 not to have weight ballast. But Heesterbeek's looking really good here. P5 currently for Adonis Engineering. And he'll be hoping to get a decent qualifying, perhaps taking his first pole, not his first pole, sorry, his second pole position of the year, perhaps. The first since the first round in Bahrain. I think that will round off what has been a rather nice year for Ruud, but it has been hampered down with some incidents, of course. Who's the next one down then? I think it's all the way down to Eric Strana, who's in P13 currently, and then right behind him is Sven de Vries. Looking at Smile Power, though, it's not good, is it? We've got Jesper Torborg down in P20, David Junt, our championship leader, in P17. They're both actually on 193 points. Junt only championship leader through race wins, so it's the worst possible scenario for him, isn't it? He gets the most penalty weight, and for no real reason apart from having more wins this season. So they've got a lot to do, and currently, at least in my own opinion, they've got the hardest task this evening, trying to get a good race 1 and a good race 2 under their belt, because they're looking pretty slow at the moment.
Yeah, do you want to go through the championship standings before
yes,
starts?
Absolutely. So, the top 5, as they are, remember, they have weight penalties, 45, 36, 27, 18, and 9 kilograms respectively, down from 1st to 5th. So, David Junt leads the championship on 193 points. His lead is only on wins, though, from Jesper Torborg, who shares 193 points with him. Then there's Ruud Heesterbeek, 8 points back from Torborg and Junt on 185, and De Vries is only 1 point behind his Adonis teammate on 184. It is that close. Then we have to go a little way back by 19 points to end up with Eric Strana, who's running 9 kilograms of weight. And then the last guy mathematically in with a chance to win this championship, Kevin Siggy on 161. He's got the biggest task this evening. who's to say he can't win it at the end, though? We've seen much more bizarre things happen at GPVWC before. To round out the top 10, of course, we've got Agustin Canapino on 137, Fran Lopez on 136, and Mike Bell, who incidentally actually comes into this round with a 10-place grid penalty. He rounds out the top 10 on 123. And then, of course, the Teams Championship. The top 3 teams are Smile Power on 386, and they lead quite convincingly, but in the same way, not really convincingly. They only lead by 17 points from Adonis Engineering. They only lead by 18 points from Ice Cold Racing. And 18 points, you get a second place, and nobody else scores. That's the lead instantly wiped out. We then have Midnight Motorsport, now newly inherent E4. They relinquished their Team Championship title today, of course. They're on 242. Then we have Waters on 211. Torrent Motorsports on 145, Mazurek on 140, Enterprise looking to try and get back up the order somehow on 130, Cosmo on 109, and the top 10 rounded out by Drake Racing on 89 points. We will look at the other smaller teams perhaps and whether anything good can happen to them throughout this round, but I think the main one to look at them would be Aurora Motorsports, who are turning up to their first event in quite a while. They have signed Tim Hyman, and Tim Hyman, with all of the adjusted standings, of course, got pole position in Spa, he got a race win in Spa, and quite frankly he's looked dominant in both free practice and the official practice sessions here at Monza. It's going to be hard to bet against him for both pole and the win here today. So, perhaps we should go on board with Mike Bell. Mike, of course, remember, is the only guy coming into this field with a grid penalty of some sort. 10 places he will drop for contact with Alexander van der Woude in race 1 of Belgium. And he did reasonably well, actually, in the ITC just 2 days ago. He was very unlucky in terms of incidents, but he had great pace and got a fastest lap, his first fastest lap of the year. Let's see whether we can get a fast lap here at Monza, though. Heading down the long home straight is going to be the main source of overtaking this place as we hurtle down into the turn 1 chicane. We're probably expecting a bit of bumping into turn 1 and 2 here. It happened in the ITC, unfortunately, and Bell takes turn 1 a little deep, but covers up nicely into turn 2. A little bit of a slide out of turn 2, then round the Curva Grande we go. Again, a lot of slipstreaming can happen here as well, and I would be not too surprised to see people having a little go into turn 4 and 5 here, the Delarogier chicane. The ITC cars were actually quite nicely able to jump over the anti-cuts here. Not so the Porsches. They have a much lower ride height than the ITC cars, so they're going to have to be much more careful over those anti-cuts if they dare attempt to go over them. Through Lesmo 1 we go now, and Mike Bell doing pretty nicely there, actually hanging the tail out a bit, and into Lesmo 2 again, missing the apex a little bit, and getting on the gravel as well. That will have lost him a bit of time for sure as we head down yet another straight. This one less prolific for overtaking, of course, because we're heading up into the famous Ascari corner. Very hard to overtake through here, and of course, thinking about it logically, if you go to 2x2 through here, you're more than likely going to lose a lot of time. Mike Bell really straddling the first curve and really straddling the third curve on the exit of Ascari as well, so a bit of a shoddy lap for Mike Bell so far. As we now head down the back straight towards Parabolica, no runoff area here. You make a mistake, you are into the gravel. We saw a couple of overtakes here in the ITC, not too many though. Straddles the curb, gets on the power as quickly as possible, rounds his final corner now, and we will see what our provisional pole time from Mike Bell is. He makes sure to go as close to the wall as possible. A 150.9, that's not actually too bad for Mike Bell. I'm sure we'll see it beaten though. Cameron Bruce is... Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, that looks like it's about about a second off Heineman's best time in free practice over the 2 weeks. I don't think we'll get near that though, because there's been a lot of practice for these last 2 races, of course, because it's the final round. Everyone wants to maximise their opportunity.
Cameron Bruce is going to P2 on a 151.2, our reverse grid underdog who fell out the top 10 unfortunately in recent times. He'll be looking to get back in. He's P2, and Matt Richards has just gone in behind him in P3 from Midnight Motorsport. 7 tenths off, a second off Mike Bell. as a new flood of cars comes out of the pit, including Weeks Tallborg, one of our championship contenders, and Sandeep Choda making his debut, I believe, for Lusitania Racing Team. Another man making his debut is Matthew Churgwin for Aurora Motorsports. He's in P4, and then Ken Hunter rounds out our qualifiers so far. P5 for Deltec, a full 9 or almost 8, yes, 8.2 seconds off pole. So unfortunately, the South African not really putting in a good time there at all. Morten Wernersson's just gone in P5, a 152.4, 1/10 behind Churgwin, so a lot of slow times at the moment. I'm just having a look to see who will be coming up next, and I think, oh, Jordan Weeks has abandoned his lap. So that's Jordan Weeks gone already. I think it might very well be Bart de Vos, actually. Oh no, I think it's going to be Paul Joseph, sorry. Paul Joseph coming around in his lap, and then we'll go to de Vos. So Paul Joseph, the Scotsman. The TWR have had a bit of a torrid year, unfortunately. Nowhere near the amount of points scored last year. But goes P4, so a decent effort from Joseph. And do remember as well, Bell has a 10-place grid penalty. So the maximum he's going to be starting is P11. Let's now go to Bart de Vos, who's coming down the back straight now for triple 20. Yeah, so it's going to be de Vos and Francic, not Bracala and Francic this time. Triple 20, of course, getting their first win of the year in Belgium. That was a great achievement for them, and it was very much a case of Francic ran away with it because there was so much battling behind, of course, the Tobias train, causing a lot of drivers grief as Bart de Vos goes into P4 there, 152.0. Nobody really challenging Bell's time yet, though. The closest is Brewster, still 3/10 off.
Wahlberg starting his lap now.
Tallborg, good choice, yeah. Good choice of viewing here. Jesper Tallborg, the Danish driver. I believe he's looking to take a break from sim racing after this championship is done, does it? So, you know, what a wonderful way to go into that little hiatus than to win a championship, of course. He takes a little slide in turn 1, goes into turn 2 quite nicely. Remember, Tallborg, the host of 36 kilograms of weight on board his car. But the flip side of that, of course, is that he is right with championship leader David Junt. So all he has to do is outscore all 3 of his rivals this race, his main rivals, I should say, as well as Strana and Siggy, and he'll be looking at the driver's title. He takes the De La Roche chicane rather nice as well. Goes a bit wide, unfortunately, which will lose him a bit of time. But you know, whereas this is looking like quite a nice lap, Ben, of course, those 36 kilograms of weight are going to be really affecting him, because we saw in the ITC, weight just makes you drop like a stone around this circuit.
Yeah, I think these guys are going to be looking more towards race 2 to get their huge pool of points that they'll need to win the championship. But of course, race 1 will count a lot towards that. At the moment, it's Brewster still on pole. If we factor in Mike Bell's 10 places, then after that, Jarl Tyne's gone into 3rd with Paul Watkins 4th. 2 good times there. The 51s is looking like a pretty solid time for Super Pole session. And I still haven't seen Tallborg make a mistake. I have a feeling he's going to go on provisional pole from this lap.
Of course, Tallborg's last pole, his only pole this year, was the Spanish Sport Series. He hasn't won a race this season as well. That's the big thing about Tallborg. He's been super consistent, but he hasn't been super fast enough in the race. And he's not super fast enough to beat Bell's time, but because of Bell's penalty, he does take provisional pole position, and that'll be a huge relief to him. That should see him up in the top 10 at least.
Okay, we've got Heinemann on track, going through the Lesmos.
Yeah, good call. And the thing is, as I said, it's very hard to look past Hyman for pole. He just looks so dominant, so fast in both Spa and in Monza. And although he's just really driving at Aurora for fun, looking to gain Aurora a couple of positions maybe in the Teams Championship, he's going to be driving for a bit of pride, maybe putting himself on the market for next year to maybe look for a team with which he can challenge for the title, maybe.
Yeah, very possible. He's been trying to get in everywhere on GPV recently, and he's looked very, very quick in every car he's been in. He's just going through the Parabolica now. From what I've seen, it's been a very good lap, but I didn't see the start of it.
Yeah, we sort of cottoned on to it when he was heading through the Lesmos, but it certainly looked like a decent final sector, and if you know Tim Heinemann, you know it's going to be fast. unbelievably, Mike Bell, if he didn't have that grid penalty, would still be on provisional pole. That's now gone to Heinemann by 0.2 of a second. But this shows you why you've got to be sensible in races, because Mike Bell must be absolutely kicking himself right now.
I know he's not too happy about the decision either, but I don't know many drivers that are ever happy about getting a penalty.
No. Sure, everyone can vouch for that. Like, unless you know it's absolutely your fault, then, yeah, what can you do, unfortunately? So, your current time with 5 minutes to go is Heinemann, Torborg, Brewster, your top three. Still plenty of the fast drivers to go now. I think next up will be Jonas Ravio in an Enterprise GP for this one round, filling in for, of course, the excluded Harley Hamnet. He's just going through Ascari now, is the Finn, who took his first podium of the year here at GPVWC in the ITC just 2 days ago. He's had a bit of bad luck as Ravio, never really had a good clean race, and that's gone both on the receiving end, and indeed Ravio has been giving some of the contact as well. He loves these cars though, and he is going to be looking for some decent points to try and move Enterprise back up into a reasonable Teams Championship position after dropping 4 places overall. He rounds the final corner, and let's see where Jonas on his debut in WSS goes. It's a 1:51.2, good enough for P3 now.
He speaks on the lap, and he's taking the first chicane very, very, like, on the edge, but it looked very quick as well. Going flat out for this pole position. I'm surprised nobody's slipstreaming as well.
Yeah?
Like, the likes of, Menno Clont isn't here, is he?
No.
Edenis, team leader, I would have thought he would have given one of them a try.
Which is, it is interesting, because we saw THR really benefit from it in the ITC in qualifying. A lot of bump drafting going on, but maybe people thinking it's better just to stay out of the slipstream so I can get as clean a lap as possible. Because as you rightly say, you look at, if you get a 1:51 there, that's a whole second to yourself. You're looking at a top 10 potentially.
Yep.
Anyway,
these cars are a lot harder to bump draft and push around corners than ITC cars, predominantly the front wheel drives that THR have.
It's a lot more sort of rear end happy, aren't they? Which is all to the benefit of this championship. Has been a wonderful addition to the WSS, the flat 6 car which we are using. Who's gone in there? I'm not too sure. I think it's Alexander van der Woude.
Olsen.
Oh no, it's Tobias Olsen, yeah. P8 for Enterprise GP there. Had a wonderful event last time, actually scoring double points for the first time this year. But the man we're interested in now is Ruud Heesterbeek. Third in the championship, 26 kilograms of weight. Where does he go? Oh, and he misses out on pole by 13 thousandths of a second. It's Heinemann from Heesterbeek from Torborg. Two of the championship protagonists are right up there. Where are the other two main ones though? Is David Junt on his lap?
Yeah,
David Junt is on his lap.
Lesmos now.
And De Vries is just starting his hot lap now as well. So let's go on board with David Junt. Yeah, remember, we got the Teams Championship to decide as well. So Smile currently occupying a P3 position, Adonis a P2 position, and where is Ice Cold? I think Strana and Lopez have left it to the very last second to start their laps.
Strana's on his lap now, and Fran Lopez has literally just come out of the pits.
I wonder if he's going to make it.
He might not make it.
No. Oh, it could be disaster for Ice Cold, couldn't it?
He's cutting the chicanes to make sure. That's the thing about Monza, you can cut the chicanes in case you miss your qualifying spot.
Oh, Siggy! Right, yep, completely missed that. Thank you, Dave, our cameraman for tonight. Kevin Siggy takes pole position by, what's it, about 0.2 of a second, 0.3 of a second. A great effort from the Austrian, looking for his first pole position of the year, actually, in WSS. Let's see where David Junt goes. Only P14. That is not good for our championship leader, though, to be fair, he did have 45 kilograms of weight. But there we go, Kevin Siggy, the outsider for this driver's title, currently on pole position, and that's the best thing you could do at this stage.
Yeah, very much so. It gives him a shot of the championship, because it's only really Heesterbeek that's up, and Eric Strana goes 5th, which will be 4th. Torberg's up there as well. But as we know with Monza, it comes a pack race. You need to be at the front and it's quite hard if you get in front of so-called slower drivers. They can stick with you with the slipstream and make it real hard possibility to get away from them. So you need to be at the front in quali.
Right, De Vries coming round the final corner in P30 currently. Let's see where the American goes. He's taken a pole position through the exclusion of Hamnet in Canada now. And only P12 for Sen De Vries. So 2 in the championship. Really, really struggling. Did Lopez make it?
Yes.
Yes, he did. I'll have to get some clarification from Dave, though, on all this cutting that he was doing just to get to the line. We will stay with his lap. Okay, yeah, so Dave has pretty much confirmed Fran Lopez, whatever he does here, is not going to count. All the cutting was warned against in the practice sessions. Yeah, so basically he's been keeping an eye on Lopez, and he straight-lined every single chicane to get there, and unfortunately the administration have taken very unkindly to that during the race and qualifying. So Fran Lopez, whatever he does here, will be void, and so that means we've only got 2 more people to look at here. Agustin Canapino in P30 currently, round the final corner for Midnight Motorsport. He was P2 in the practice session. Can he take his first and final pole of the year in WSS? Oh, no, he can't. P2 for the Argentine is a great effort, though. So, pretty much...
Sicky's disqualified himself. Wonderful.
Yeah, I don't think that's his fault, is it? He was, yeah, what was he doing? No idea. It doesn't matter. He's got pole position, doesn't he? And so that means our last person is Quinton Plain, then, for TTF Racing. Not very bottom of the pile. We've got Deltec and SRP below him. Where does Quinton finish? P28. So, pole position, final pole position of the year, goes to Kevin Siggy for Waters Automotive, the man with the outside chance for the driver's title. He is then followed by Canapino, and then Heinemann, Heasterbeek, Strana Torborg, Ravio Brewster, Tyan Watkins, and Tobias Olsen rounding out the top 10. Mike Bell, who would have been P3 without that grid penalty, now starts P13.
Yeah, he's just told me via a whisper he's really upset now. But I've told him he can win race 2 from back there.
Well, he can get some decent points in both races, to be fair.
Yeah, and just to point out, Lopez has huge ramifications on the team's championship.
Yes.
He's driving for Ice Cold, who are third.
So that is
Strana and Lopez.
Absolutely disastrous for Ice Cold. So let's actually have a look at the ramifications here. So Sven De Vries starts P12 due to Bell's penalty. Easterbeek starts P3. Decent starting there. Torborg starts P5. And Yunt starts P18, I think. And, oh, hello. Do we actually have... Has Kevin been actually disqualified from pole? Oh, Siggy! Oh, right, okay. What about Lopez?
He's just left the game.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. Dave, could you give me a clarification? So who's disqualified from qualifying? Fran. And so Siggy's pole position is... Okay, right. But he's got pole. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, Kevin Siggy on pole. That's all done and dusted. Fran Lopez disqualified from qualifying for obvious reasons. But well, Adonis Engineering are very much in the hot seat in terms of the team's championship. In terms of the drivers, you'd very much say that the pendulum swings towards Heasterbeek, Torborg, and of the member of the outside chance, Kevin Siggy to take it.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree with you there. It's going to be interesting seeing what Heinemann can do from third on the grid, and Canapino as well. Are right in there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? With the two people up front, of course, who aren't involved in any way. Right, we've got 5 minutes of warm-up now. We are going to have a little couple of awards over the broadcast based on a couple of things. I like the idea of the pole position trophy and the fastest lap trophy, and so I thought it was good to make sure that we appreciate the effort that people have made into, you know, going in with fast setups. So pole position award with 4 pole positions this year out of 10 is Eric Strana, who took pole position at I think it was pretty much all the middle European rounds, I should say. I'll get the actual thing up. I should have kept it up anyway. But he took pole position at Monaco, Austria, Britain and Hungary, and he's very much been the one to look out for in those qualification sessions, and it's why he made such a great stride up into P5 with Ice Cold Racing, of course. And it was, well, we see him up there again, up in the top 10 once again, and if he comes back next year, I do wonder what he can bring to the table, because he's certainly been Ice Cold's best driver for me.
Just reading, Fran Lopez has come back into the game, just pointing that back out. So we do have 2 Ice Colds in the field.
Just one at the back.
Yep, just one at the back.
Right.
Do you want to carry on?
Well, yes, we've got, well, pole position awards done, dusted with. The fastest lap award is a bit more complicated, however. There are plenty of people in with a chance to take that. There is going to be, of course, people getting 1 or 2 fastest laps across this event. We'll keep an eye on who they are. There may very well be a joint fastest lap winner for the end of the year. But, of course, fastest laps are those nice little perks which you can get at the end of the race to say, yes, you know, I was faster than everyone else at this one point on the track. Personally, I don't go for them very much. I'd rather have a nice consistent setup than, you know, Speedy Gonzalez setup in the race. Some people like that, though, and I'm sure that Mike Bell, as I said earlier, would be very happy with this fastest lap in the ITC 2 days ago.
I don't even look at the fastest laps at all. It doesn't really make any difference to me. I've never even seen a trophy for it before, so...
It's the James Kirk trophy of fastest laps.
There you go.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's exciting stuff. It's a new addition to GPVWC. Oh dear. So, we got 2 minutes. I'm not going to ask you who you're going to, who you think is going to win these titles, because nobody can answer that. However, we have our grid for race 1. Who do you think is going to take it?
Hard to look past Heinemann, really. I think Canapino might have a shot. His racecraft's very good if he can stick with Heinemann. As could Siggy. But I expect something big to happen in race 1. That's going to be my prediction.
Okay. I'm very persuaded to agree with you, because Heinemann's pace in these cars was extraordinary, and you just got to look to the Belgian round, when of course Hamnet and Heinemann were essentially driving to win the race. Hamnet was faster than him in some laps, not faster than him in others, but the fact that Heinemann could even respond to someone using extra aids without using aids himself is absolutely extraordinary, I find. And the German, you can only imagine what he could have done if he'd come into this championship.
He's just done a time that would have put him pole as well.
Yeah.
In warm-up. Just to prove his point as well, and he's one of the most consistent drivers I've ever seen. I've seen him in another league as well. So yeah, I can't really look past. If this was any other track but Monza, I'd say he's hands down going to win, even from 3rd.
Yeah.
But because it's Monza with the slipstream and the tight corners and the potential for chaos, then I can't really predict a winner.
You're chickening out, is what you're saying.
No, I'm going to predict the championship instead. I think David Yount's going to win the championship by winning race 2.
Do you really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a very bold prediction. I don't believe David Jones has ever won a title before, has he?
I don't know. I don't think so. He's in a contention in Formula Challenge and Masters as well, so he's had a brilliant season all round.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm personally going to go for... I was going to go for De Vries, but after seeing his qualifying, I'm more inclined to go for Heasterbeek on this one. And Dave Carr-Smith, because he fancies getting in on the action as well, he's going for Jesper Torborg, and more to the point, he's going for Jesper Torborg without winning a race this evening. Making him, I believe, the only driver in GPVWC history to win a championship without winning a race.
Yeah,
I think I'm right. If it has happened before, then it hasn't happened very often.
I haven't seen it in real life at all either, so there we go. I think it goes to show how tight this championship is, that you can win just by consistency and not winning a race.
Of course, looking forward to 2015. We can't say for sure what is going to happen. Excuse me, I'm not sure whether we're going to be making any changes to the rules. I don't know whether we're going to be changing mod. I don't even know whether we're going to be changing up to a different platform or not. Quite honestly, though, as a commentator's opinion, if it ain't broke, then don't fix it, because this has been a wonderful, wonderful championship to watch, and I'm sure we're going to be treated to a wonderful final round here at Monza as well, as we head up now into the race. What awaits us, I have absolutely no idea. Will we have carnage? Will we have great racing? Will we have tantrums, flair? Will we have a new winner even? It is perfectly reasonable to think so with the closeness of this field. And in 2 races' time, ladies and gentlemen, we will be able to conclusively say who is the 2014 World Sports Series Drivers and Teams Championship winners. Right now, though, we have the privilege of going through the formation lap with you, with Kevin Siggy for the first and last time this year. The Austrian starts on pole position for Waters Automotive. He is then followed by Agustin Canapino, the Argentine, driving for Midnight Motorsport. Waters and Midnight, incidentally, in the battle for P4 in the championship, still all open there, so plenty to play for. Tim Heinemann, mine and Ben's bets for the race win. He starts P3 for Aurora Motorsports. And Ruud Heesterbeek, third in the championship with 27 kilograms of weight. He starts P4. He starts ahead of his fellow championship contender, Eric Strana, with 9 kilograms of weight, P5. And another championship contender, Jesper Tolborg, joint leader of the championship, only not winning by wins alone. He starts P6 for Smile Power Racing with 36 kilograms. Eunice Ravio on debut for Enterprise GP starts P7 with Cameron Brewster. Very good qualifying for the Englishman. He starts P8 for Cosmo. Jarl Tyen starts P9 for Waters Automotive, making it a great qualifying for Waters, actually. And rounding out the top 10 is Paul Watkins in a very credible effort on the last qualifying of the year, P10 for TWR. Tobias Olsen starts P11 for Enterprise GP with 4th placed 18 kilogram burdened Sven de Vries for Adonis Engineering starting P12, ahead of the only man with a penalty in this field, Mike Bell. He would have started P3 without a 10-place grid penalty. He starts P13 for Mazurek Racing. Alexander van der Wilder starts P14 for Tayfor Motorsports, with Thomas Jacobs making his debut this year, starting P15 for Drake Racing. Matt Richards starts P16 for Midnight Motorsport, with championship leader and holder of 45 kilograms of weight, David Junt, starting just outside the points in P17. Boyd Bryson, he actually got a qualifying effort in. Good job, mate. He starts P18 for Racing Team Stroton. Bart de Vos starts behind him, P19 for Triple 20. And the top 20 is rounded out by our reverse grid man of the moment, Victor Silva for Lusitania Racing Team. Will he get a final reverse grid pole position for race 2? David Francic, our winner of race 2 in Belgium, starts pretty disappointing 21st for the Croatian, with Paul Joseph for TWR behind him, P22. Matthew Churgwin on debut for Aurora Motorsport starts P23, with Morten Burson behind him, P24 for Drake. Mike Schroten starts P25 for Mazurek Racing, his own team, with Roy Schroten behind him, P26 for Woods. Sandeep Choudhury on his debut for Lusitania starts P27, with Thomas Hinz behind, P28 for Tayfor. Quinton Plain starts P29 for TTF, with Ken Hunter P30 for Deltec. Rob Mason starts P31 for Cosmo Autosport, with William Tringus P32 for Racing Team Stroton. And of course, rounding out the back of the grid after failing to qualify properly, Fran Lopez in the team's championship with Ice Cold Racing. He starts P33.
I'm going to watch Yunt, if you want to watch this front.
Absolutely. You keep an eye on our championship leader. We, the audience, will keep an eye on all the action that goes on. Apologies for the sniffle. I'll try and get through it. But Fran Lopez just slots into his grid box now, along with the other back 5 cars. The tyres are going to be quite cold at the front of the grid by now. But we are all in position. Kevin Siggy from that pole. As 3, 4, 5 lights on. And for the penultimate round of the 2014 WSS season, we are racing. It's a bad start from Siggy, but it's a great start from Hyman. He's been boxed in a bit by Siggy and Canapino, and they had a great start as well. Heading down into turn 1 now. Let's hope we don't see much contact. But Kevin Siggy, bit of contact with Hyman, and he's gone very, very wide there. And so Tim Hyman, he's gone through on Canapino as well. Crazy stuff. So Hyman takes the lead of this race from Canapino. Siggy down to third, and there's Ruud Heasterbeek on the inside of Kevin Siggy as well. Cameron Brewster, great start from him. Up to P5 with Torborg down to P7, Ravio down to P8, and battling Sven de Vries, who had a great start, the American. Whereas David Judd, though, he is P15, just ahead of Tobias Olsen now, so he is in the points, but only just about as we head through the De La Roche chicane with all the cars. Hyman leads us, Ravio. His luck doesn't change, does he? And he's going to fall all the way down the order, unfortunately. But Hyman leads with Canapino quite comprehensively, with Siggy ahead of Heasterbeek. And just about Cameron Brewster, P5, has Eric Strana all over the back of him as well. So Strana and Heasterbeek able to stay in relatively the same position. It was Torborg who was the main loser there, falling down to P7. Sven de Vries, probably the biggest winner, all the way up to P18. From P12, the American. Paul Watkins, P9. Jarl Tyen rounding out the top 10. Mike Bell, with that penalty, of course, up into P11. Matt Richards up into P12, battling on with Olsen, Jacobs, and David Judd there. So David Judd isn't too far away from the big point scorer. So as we head on to the back straight now, Hyman has quite a huge advantage over Canapino. So the slipstream isn't going to affect him much. But for the four behind him, Siggy, Heasterbeek, Brewster, and Strana, he could very well have a bit of problems as all. Brewster trying to four-wheel drift around. And Parabolica, that's not going to do too much
going
good.
off onto the grass on Parabolica, which is not what you want to do there.
Absolutely not.
Well, he slowed down. He was under pressure from Strana as well, who was lining up the overtake going into turn 1. Brewster's staying on the inside. I prefer the outside for this corner, but you can be bumped off across the... And that's great braking from Strana. Yeah. Right around the outside of Brewster.
Really, really solid stuff from Strana. He's up into P5. And he's run the back of Heasterbeek as well. And what on earth has happened to Canapino? He has fallen right back into the clutches of Kevin Siggy. So Hyman, very much like Belgium, running away with it. But Kevin Siggy now in P3. Going to have a look on Canapino into the De La Roche chicane. Canapino, slightly chops him off, which isn't the best of racing lines. But he is doing well enough, isn't he? And he's able to hold on as we head into Lesmo 2. Back on Yunt Cam, he is P15, but he's not really making much impression otherwise, unfortunately. Really just not able to make any form of impact on Thomas Jacobs or Tobias Olsen at the moment. Meanwhile, Kevin Siggy back up at the front in P3 and 2, going to be lining up a move on Canapino. And I do wonder whether Strana is going to have a saying in proceedings here as well, because he is very close to Heasterbeek. And obviously, he is carrying 18 kilograms less weight as well, so we'll see as we head onto the back straight whether...
He's already got a run on. He's still going down to Parabolica as well. Might go to the outside again. More difficult than turn 1 to get around the outside, but you can get cut back. There's so many ways to overtake here. It's it's one of my favourite tracks to watch.
And, well...
And, yeah, he's going for the cutback, but Heasterbeek's just... positioned his car well enough, so if he gets a good exit, he's going to bump after him instead of going by him. Now, Strana's going to the inside, so a change of tactics there. Surprisingly, Brewster's got a 2-second gap back to Tallberg as well, so...
Oh, sorry, Siggy on Canapino up at the front, 2 and 3, and Siggy clean around the outside. He's going to cipher Alpha Canapino, what on earth am I talking about there? Augusta Canapino out to the edge, and Kevin Siggy retakes P2 from the Argentine. A good move there from the Austrian. Meanwhile, Heasterbeek holds on to P4 from Eric Strana. That is really crucial in this championship. Where's De Vries? He's P7, so Adonis Engineering really capitalising here at the moment. Smile Power scoring only 9 points from this event. And where is the other ice cold of... Fran Lopez, you might ask? He's down in P21, so he's nearly into the reverse 20 possibility of, well, he's into the top 20, which would give him a chance of reverse grid pole, but he's not exactly making a big impact on the point scoring positions.
In 20th position, he's got past Bart de Vos. I've been watching him. He's been doing his aggressive moves, and it's worked out very well for him so far. He didn't get the best start, and he's made up about 6-7 positions in the 2 laps following. He looks very, very quick as well, so definitely a contender for race 2. He might sneak some points. Another thing I want to point out is David Junt, back earlier on in the season, was aiming to finish in his 13th to 16th positions to make sure he got a very good spot for race 2. I don't think he's trying to do that today, but I think it might just happen for him. 15th is the perfect spot if you want to win race 2. And it doesn't look like he can catch Jacobs, and he's got Frankic behind him as well, who looks quick.
I'm wondering what's happening P2 to P5 here. Kevin Siggy's pulled out quite a nice little gap on Canapino, but I tell you what, the Argentine's race pace is looking pretty slow, even without weight penalty. He's to be going to line up and move now into turn 1. He breaks a little bit later and he's going to try and force the issue, and oh no! How on earth did he not make contact there and spin anyone round? That is extraordinary. So Canapino will retake that position, and he's to be will now be trying desperately to defend off Eric Strana, who's going around the outside of the Curva Grande. I tell you what, Easterbeek was slipping and sliding into turn 1 quite a bit in the ITC as well. I don't think he's that comfortable with the braking zone, and Eric Strana moves quite comfortably up into P4, and Rude really needs to cut out those mistakes, because the difference between 5th and 4th, of course, is 2 points, and that 2 points at the end of the day could be absolutely crucial in deciding whether he becomes the title winner or not.
Yep, he's still the leader of the championship, the main championship contenders. At this point, I'd say Strana's pretty much out of it. Siggy needs to catch Heinemann. Easterbeek's 5th looks very good. De Vries has got ahead of Tulberg as well, which we haven't spotted.
Very good point. De Vries up into 7th, Torborg down to 8th. To give you an idea of the other positions here, we've got Jarl Tyen 10th and Paul Watkins 9th, and behind Mike Bell 11th. And there's a battle going on between Tobias Olsen and Matt Richards, and Tobias Olsen and Matt Richards going side by side through Ascarian. Still going side by side on the exit, so those two are battling. P12 and 13, and Matt Richards not very happy with. Cut it out, Matt. Goodness me. Battling out P12 and P13 there. You can't really go side by side through Ascarian. Now they're going to be going side by side with Thomas Jacobs as well as we head into Parabolica. Matt Richards tries to dive through. They can't do anything. Is Thomas Jacobs going to try and capitalise here? The three of them are going side by side on the exit. In the background, David Junt, he's rubbing his hands together, isn't he? He's thinking, well, if these three kick off and if there's going to be any contact, then I'm going to be getting a three positions. Thank you very much. Heading down the home straight with these two. Matt Richards going to have a little look on the outside. Yep.
He's caught a whole second in his lap.
Contact between Mick Richards and Olsen. And that was really clumsy. Hold on, let me have a look, see who was at fault there. Oh yeah, Matt Richards just going into the back of Olsen there. Thankfully, neither of them lose too many points.
He's going down the inside of Canapino into De La Roche chicane, and he's taken second.
Yeah, 2 and 3. So Canapino must have gotten back ahead. But Canapino certainly not falling off the gas at all. P2 and 3 here, and Canapino trying to run the outside of Lesmo 1. That'd be a great move if he can make it stick, but he's going to hang out on the outside here, and now Siggy will have the inside of Lesmo 2. It's pretty much single file through there, but Canapino, he gets a little bit loose, and now Strana is in.
Slow through the corner on the inside, and Strana's through. Easterbeek's coming through as well. We might go three wide into Ascari. No, he's not going to be there, but Eric Strana very much has a shout around the outside. We saw Olsen do it to Richards. Siggy breaks later, takes the inside line.
It's good defence from Siggy.
All about the run off Ascari into the Parabolica.
I tell you what, that's great driving from Siggy, Strana and Easterbeek there, all really capitalising on Canapino there. Really good stuff, and Canapino will be feeling a bit hard done by, won't he? He's really lost out here as we head around Parabolica once again. Really interesting to see all the different lines that all these drivers are taking, and I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be any of those four guys. I'd want to be Cameron Brewster, sitting there nice and pretty in P6. If anything, is very much similar to Junt in the battle ahead of him back at the lower ends of the points. If anything goes wrong between these four drivers, it's 3 positions, as they're all going side by side.
And Fran Lopez. Well, so he's now 17th. He needs to get past
Strana. This battle for the 2nd and 3rd here. This is the bigger battle. I'm sorry, mate. Siggy just about holding on to Eric Strana there. Oh, what's happened there is there's a lot of contact going on.
I think it was Church. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nearly took out Lopez and Junt. But Junt's up to 16th. I'll just keep an eye on him because he needs to stay in that position. It's still for the championship.
Right, heading through Lesmo 1 now with all of these drivers. Cameron Brewster really caught up on the back here. Tim Hyman, by the way, leads by 6.3 seconds. He's won this race already. You can, tick that one off your list. What a great got going on here at the second front of the field, if you like. It's Formula 2011 all over again. Kevin Siggy second, Strana third, he's to be fourth, Canapino fifth, and Cameron Brewster sixth. You've got to watch out for De Vries and Torborg in seventh and eighth there, and maybe even Jarl Tyen in ninth. They're all very, very close to this gaggle of geese. And heading through Ascari, it looks like Siggy's just about got the run on these guys, but there's still plenty of shifting to do, especially with so many straights here. You never know when someone can get the perfect run.
Yeah, you said you wanted to be Brewster before. I want to be Heinemann, in all honesty.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, good point. In context of the battle we are currently witnessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Siggy holding on just about, and it seems like Heasterbeek has lost an awful lot of time through Parabolic. He's got Canapino right on the back of him now, doesn't he?
Yeah, the weight must be quite difficult to keep getting good runs off the corners with as well. Compared to Canapino's got no weight, remember. As has Siggy. So 2x2 into the first corner. Siggy goes around the outside of Strana and Heasterbeek holds the inside against Canapino. So I think that's status quo for that corner. But we're about halfway through this race. We are halfway through this race.
Yeah. It's all gone so quick, isn't it? There was a bit of flash of lights on exit from someone, I'm not sure who, from these four drivers, but you can see just through means of lines and battling, the everyone's concertinating up. Siggy taking a defensive line. Here goes Heasterbeek down the inside. Oh, and that was a bit of ruffian work there, but Heasterbeek has done it. He is through on Eric Strana, but for how long? Strana's going to have the inside of Lesmo 1 here, and the Swedish driver dives back up into P3. Heasterbeek does not want to hang about though, and I think was that a flash of lights at Strana or saying sorry?
I think sorry. I'd say that's sorry.
He did look like he was going in very hot there. But look at this. The battling between these four has really reeled in Brewster, De Vries, Torborg, and Tyen as well. So, honestly, who's going to get the podium? I have no idea. As Kevin Siggy and Eric Strana are going to go into... Huh? Who?
Torborg had disappeared from my timing.
Ah, no worries. Oh my word, look at this. This is 2 down to 9, all within 3 seconds of each other. Tim Hyman up in the road, he doesn't care really, does he? But Eric Strana, he's had an excellent exit out of Ascari. He's looking to the outside of Siggy now, and here comes Heasterbeek as well, looking down the inside. Into Parabolic we go. Everyone has to sort of keep out of each other's way to make sure there's no contact. But I think Heasterbeek's had a great exit, hasn't he? He's siding up right onto the back of Eric Strana. He pulls out of the slipstream for a bit, and you're going to have a quadruple slipstream going on now as Eric Strana looks to the outside. Here comes Heasterbeek as well. I imagine he's going to be going to the inside, or is he? I don't think he's even going to go there. There goes disgusting Canapino. He's going to try and take all 3 of them. There's contact between Siggy and Strana heading into turn 1. Canapino around the outside of Heasterbeek, and there's Brewster! Brewster getting involved there as well, and Brewster on the outside of Heasterbeek. He's got to be careful though, he's making a move, and Sven De Vries, Heasterbeek's teammate, might be able to capitalise on it. So Eric Strana up into P2, Kevin Siggy P3, Canapino P4, and Rue Heasterbeek is now P5, just about holding on to Cameron Brewster. Now I think the Englishman's going to have the inside of the De La Rogier chicane here, and indeed he does. Oh wow, Rue Heasterbeek trying, and oh, he hits the anti-cut. And off he goes, De Vries goes past, Torborg goes past. Oh dear. I think that was a bit rude from Brewster, to be brutally honest. He gave Heasterbeek absolutely no room whatsoever, but that could be catastrophic for Heasterbeek's championship, because now Torborg is simply outscoring him, and that's all he needs to do here.
Yeah, and just watching back, Fran Lopez is battling 13th for Franchit, and Junt's back into 15th, so both of them are going to be in the reverse grid as well. Just stay at the front now, I think.
Yeah,
Jarl Tyen's gone down the inside of Torborg and almost gone past De Vries as well. But it's spread out a little bit now. Brewster's bottle corked it a little bit from 5th, so it's Canapino, Strana and Siggy battling for 2nd, and then we've got De Vries, Tyen, Torborg and Heasterbeek battling over 5th.
Oh, second. Eric Strana and Siggy go side by side to Parabolica. Watch out for Canapino as well. He's just going to try and get the best exit possible. And Eric Strana's been forced right. Here goes the Canapino up the inside of the Swede. Meanwhile, Oh my word, De Vries, Tyen, Heesterbeek and Torborg all within a little cluster there. We'll look back up to P2 though. These are the guys coming first. Gustin Canapino. And gone past Strana. He's going to look to try and get past Siggy now as well. Into turn one we go. A little bit of contact into the braking zone. And Gustin Canapino around the outside. And well, Gustin Canapino, his late race pace is looking very good, isn't it? Meanwhile, Sven De Vries on to P6, and here comes Jarl Tyen. Ruud Heesterbeek is back past Torborg. That is crucial for the championship.
Heesterbeek almost got all three of them going into that corner, but he had a slow exit and lost out to Tyen. He wasn't actually past De Vries, but it was alongside.
Oh my goodness me, this is madness. Here goes De Vries into the De La Roche chicane, and I'll tell you what, Tyen...
Canapino's second now. I don't think he was before.
Yeah, no, he overtook...
keep up. Yeah,
he overtook Siggy. In someone has Strana down the inside!
Siggy.
Good move from Strana. He's up into P3. Meanwhile, oh my word, the battle for 6, 7, 8 and 9 really kicking off now. De Vries in P6. Doing good for his championship. Tyen, the real unknown, the wild card in this battle. He's got absolutely nothing to do with the championship. But he's just out there for points, and that's what he's getting at the moment. Heesterbeek, though, he might line up and move into Ascari. He goes to the outside of the Norwegian driver. Mjolnir Siggy looking on the inside of Strana. He can't do it. And Heesterbeek is past Tyen, and he's going to try and go past his teammate, and it's gone wrong. It has gone very, very wrong. Oh, dearie me. Contact between the two teammates, and Heesterbeek might very well fall back into the clutches of Mike Bell. I tell you what, if someone is choking on his championship chances here, look no further than Ruud Heesterbeek. He is doing awfully with these mistakes.
He's definitely got damage. I have a feeling he might have a puncher. No, he doesn't have a puncher. Good.
He was just slow off Ascari because obviously, you know, contact and all that. Oh dearie me.
I saw smoke from the front right, but it wasn't.
Heading down the back straight, I think it's worth. Let's have a look. Kevin Siggy sizing up Eric Strana, back up a P3 and P4. Into turn one we go. Eric Strana holds on very nicely. De Vries holds on to P6. And Heesterbeek is passed by Mike Bell. It gets worse and worse for the Dutchman. He's got Paul Watkins there for company as well.
David Young gets past Franchich for 14th. Well,
so David Young,
small low in the action at the front for once. Yeah,
I'm amazed that Fran Lopez has got points as well. So Ice Cold are still very much in it. We'll have to look at the full standings once this race is done and dusted. Tim Heinemann, by the way, leading by 12.1 seconds. As I say, he was race winner by lap 1, end of lap 1 pretty much, so no need to worry about that. Canapino, he's suddenly come alive as the Argentine. Into P2 and now well clear of Strana and Siggy by, well, I say well clear, it's about 3/10, but that's the biggest the gap has been all race pretty much. Brewster P5, De Vries P6, Tyen P7, Torborg P8, Mike Bell P9 and Ruud Heesterbeek.
Siggy and Strana are going to go alongside P3.
Into Ascari we go with Siggy and Strana. Siggy tries to make it work, but Strana around the outside once again. Really good defending from the Swede.
Somehow he's managed to catch up with Canapino through that corner as well.
One mistake.
That might.
One mistake and all of a sudden it's just everything changes, isn't it? So Kevin Siggy looking in the slipstream of Strana. Strana in the slipstream of Canapino. Canapino seems to have pulled out a little bit on the straight once again. Meanwhile, who's that in battle? Tyen, Torborg and De Vries are quite close. Let's have a look back to Heesterbeek here. P10 he's been passed by Mike Bell. I wonder whether he can repass the Englishman. Because right now he needs a good overtake. He is really suffering. I do understand he's got 27 kilograms of weight ballast, of course.
Siggy and Strana alongside again. Siggy down the inside into turn 1.
Oh, and that was easy. Look at De Vries and Tyen. Tyen backs out.
Holds that on the inside.
And here comes Heesterbeek now into turn 1 as well. Heesterbeek tries around the outside. Bell well defended. And Heesterbeek's really got to be careful with Bell because his defence is legendary around these parts. And look at that. He's now got Watkins and Jacob sizing him up as well. Round the curve.
He's all by himself in 5th as well. I said he was a bottle cork before, he really isn't.
Oh, De Vries and Tyen get the De La Roche chicane all wrong, and Torborg could be looking for extra points here. Let's have a look as, Heesterbeek. Heesterbeek is out, he's having troubles with Watkins and Jacobs. Jacobs looking to dive through on Watkins into Lesmo 1. And the two Englishmen really battling hard here for the lower points. Watkins just about staying ahead, but they've got to be careful because here comes Fran Lopez coming up at a rate of knots behind them as well, looking for more points. By the way, it's lap 11 and 12. We're going to go one more lap after this. It's crazy to think, isn't it? But it seems like everything is just about settled down now. I can't really see too much going on. By the way, below Lopez, of course, David Junt still 14th. Matthew Churgwin into the points for Aurora, so a double point score for Aurora at the moment. And those reverse grid pole position lads, including Churgwin, also include Richards, Bryson, Francic, Olsen, and DeVos. Olsen and Francic, I'd be very interested to see those two up the front because of what happened in Belgium. But anyway, Tim Hyman, he currently leads the field by a gigantic 12.8 seconds. He's on his final lap now, and you can't really fault him. He took the lead, and he's never looked back.
Just quickly go through the retirements. We've got Coda, Silver, Rivio, Plain, and Morton Furnison are our 5 retirements. We haven't really covered the back of the field, but we have good reason not to today. So yeah, sorry about that.
It's been fantastic racing,
and
that's
Mike
all you
Bell
need to ask about.
Ninth. He wasn't ninth before. Somebody's dropped back.
No, it's Easterbeek. No, Easterbeek
Yeah, I
was
thought
10th.
there's someone else.
No. Meanwhile, Canapino and Siggy still trying to battle it out, but not really much going on. De Vries and Tyen in P7 and 8, they're still going at it. As, yep. Oh, Tyen
broke on the grass.
Oh, my word. Four-wheel drifting, and he thankfully manages to keep the position for Torborg. And here goes Fran Lopez in P12. Fran Lopez in P12 dives through on Jacobs. He goes wide. Oh, get it back, Fran. Oh, my God, it almost collides with Thomas Jacobs. He might be looking at a couple more points yet. Fran Lopez looking electric back there in the final points positions.
Got a run on Bell going into a Scari.
Yes, worth looking at this one as well. P9 and P10, Root Heasterbeek on the outside, and Mike Bell. Will he try and break later into a Scari to try and take him around the outside? It might be worth a look, but the Dutchman can't do it, and to be fair, he might get a better position. Yeah, he'll get a better run out of that. But meanwhile, let's look back at the front. Tim Heinemann for Aurora Motorsports takes their first win since the first race of the season, I believe. Heinemann miles ahead of eventually Agustin Canapino in P2. He takes a P2 for Midnight Motorsport with Kevin Siggy, P3, Eric Strana, P4. So the guys with the outside chances in the drivers, they did what they had to do. Brewster, a fantastic 5th. De Vries, P6. Tyen, P7. Torborg, P8. Ruud Heasterbeek does get Mike Bell for P9. That is crucial. Lopez, P10 and Fran Lopez P11.
Beat Jacobs by 2,000th of a second.
Well. What a drive from Lopez. Jacobs P12, Watkins P13, David Junt does score points in P14, and Matthew Churgwin starts off our reverse grid candidates. Those also include Richards, Francic, Bryson Olsen, and Bart DeVos. So, well, what a race that was. I'm just going to...
I'm going to work it out if you want to carry on.
Yeah, you work out the points difference. I'm just writing down the reverse grid people. Wow, that's madness. Absolute madness. Well, great racing up at the front. There wasn't too much contact, really. And the contact that there was really made things exciting. So plus 20 for Midnight. Aurora's out of it. So Siggy, I think it's safe to say Siggy and Strana are out of it, I believe. Let's see, De Vries got...
They're just about in it, but not realistically.
Right, yes, Torborg got 8, didn't he? Heasterbeek 7, and David Junt 2. So Junt is on 195, Torborg on 201 now. Heasterbeek is on 192, and De Vries is on 194, with Strana on 178, Siggy also on 178, so 25 points left on the table. I think that yeah. So those 6 drivers are all in with a chance then. Unbelievably. Yep, 1 race win and everybody... Okay, yep, so just going to send Mr. Dave the points tallies. So Junt 195, Torborg 201, Heasterbeek 192. De Vries, 194. Sorry for this, ladies and gentlemen. This is all on the fly. 178. Siggy, 178.
I've done the teams.
Yeah, you've done the teams. And what's that? What are the teams like? Oh, I think Ben might have gone. I'll do a quick tally of the teams as well then. So, third... Oh, are you back? Hello?
Yeah, I'm back, sorry.
You're back, there we go.
Yeah, okay, so Smile are on 396, Edinus are on 386, and Ice Cold on 385, so it's 11 points between 3 teams.
Sorry, Smile on 396.
96, Edinus on 386, and Ice Cold on 385.
385, well. It is going to be 11 points. And, yeah, so just going to put in the results to Dave as well. So, right, so Smile 396, EE 386, and Ice 385. And now, of course, we have the pleasure of finding out who is going to be on Reverse Grid Poll. Unfortunately, Victor Silva not in there. It's a shame. But your candidates are, on his debut, Matthew Chergwin, Matt Richards, David Franchich, who won from Reverse Grid Stardom last time out in Belgium, Boyd Bryson, Tobias Olsen, who also starred in Belgium Reverse Grid, and Bart de Vos, Franchich's teammate. 15 to 20, your final Reverse Grid number of WSS 2014 is number 16. So Matt Richards takes Reverse Grid pole position from Matthew Chergwin. That's great for Midnight, and it's also pretty good for the guys like David Junt, because David Junt starts P3 now.
Yeah, that's the best number. It's not quite the best number, but it's the number he was hoping for. And I'm pretty sure the whole of the front runners were hoping for a very low number. Just to make sure there's no cars in the way of their battle. I'm just going to try and work out. There's so many combinations. There's not really that much point of trying to work out combinations right now. We'll do it. I'll try and that will be what I'll be on in the race. If you want to commentate the race, I'll try and work out the championship standings in running.
Right, I am just going to have a little peek as well, since the results should hopefully be up, on who took the fastest lap for that race. Come on, there we go. Right, and the fastest lap was taken, I think, yeah, obviously, by Tim Heineman, so doesn't really affect the fastest lap board at all. Actually, no, Tim Heineman's up onto 2 now. So Tim Heineman could be a late fighter for that for that fastest lap trophy, along with Fran Lopez and Sven de Vries. But there we go. No, Siggy's on 17. No, you're right, 177. Good call. Sorry. So 25 points would put Kevin Siggy on 202. So he is literally 1 point within, with a chance of taking it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen the likes of 6 drivers in sim racing battling out for a driver's title. That's really extraordinary.
Yeah, and Siggy's just said he doubts he'll be on that because he'll be protested after the race, which we can't really factor into our results so far. And I really hope it doesn't change the championship outcome.
Afterwards. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because by the looks of it, it is going to be decided by mere small points at this rate.
Yeah, so one penalty can actually change where the championships go.
Yeah. Torborg only leads by 6 points from David Junt. But David Junt's got De Vries and Heasterbeek right behind now. So
Junt's starting 2nd or 3rd? And the rest are starting about 6th 7th backwards.
I'm just thinking here how much Torborg has to win by.
Wins, he wins the championship. No, Torborg can come 2nd.
120. Yeah, so if Junt wins, yeah, so Torborg essentially has to finish 2nd or win his first race of the season to be able to confirm himself as the champion.
Yep.
On the opposite sides, Kevin Siggy has to win to be able to even have a chance, as does Eric Strana, of course.
I'd pretty much put them out because
Yeah.
Talbot's not going to get less than 2 points.
No, I'd agree. Well, you never know. Never know. So, well, it's been a wonderful season so far. It really does. It really has, I should say. And I certainly hope that we get the same sort of action next year because it's been wonderful to watch. Do you have a particular highlight throughout this year, Ben?
I really enjoyed that last race. I'm just trying to go back. There was one race I really enjoyed, and I can't remember. The wet race in Austria I quite liked. It wasn't the closest race, but the strategy involved was good. There was another very close one. I forgot where it was. I don't know. My memory is gone.
I'm going to stay safe, and I'm going to go with one in recent memory. Belgium Race 2. I know you weren't there, but that was absolutely wonderful to see P3 all the way down to P10, all fighting out. And of course, at the end of the day, we got a brand new winner as well in David Francic.
He still had to work for it going to the last corner as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That was wonderful to watch, and we certainly hope to see more of it next year. And if you are watching and if you're interested in joining this sort of action, then by all means, head over to GPVWC, go sign up on the main page, go sign up on the forums, and when sign-ups for the 2015 season open in, I'd imagine, the next 5 months or so, be the first to get there, because I'm sure we'll see some new teams as well as some returning teams in 2015.
Another thing I'm going to point out for this next race, Mike Bell's going to be right in the middle of it as well, and he's the Smile Power owner, so look out for him defending hard against Edenis and Ice Cold.
I think what we've also got to keep an eye on is the weight penalty. Heinemann will have 45 kilograms. Canapino will have 36. Siggy, so that man who has to win to be able to even get a chance of winning the title, he has 27 kilograms. Strana, his other wildcard contender, he'll have 18, and Cameron Brewster will actually have 9 kilograms of weight ballast. I believe that's the first time he'll be carrying weight ballast in WSS this year. So that means that the top 4 are all ballast free now. Best man wins.
Yeah, which is the way it should be, in my opinion, for the last race.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, that's for sure. And once we get a better look of how the grid forms up, I think it'll be better, or will be certainly easier to have a little look on who I think will be taking the final win. Here we go. Moving into the final race of the season. Out of the top 4, the person starting in the highest position is David Yunt. He starts P3. You have to go all the way back to P8 and Ruud Easterbeek with Jesper Torwald behind him in P9 to find the championship leader and one of his main rivals. De Vries is P11. So that is where the 4 lie. It's all for De Vries to do. It's Yunt's to lose, in my opinion, in terms of a good result here. And Easterbeek and Torborg stuck in the middle with you.
Yeah, and the 2 Ice Cold boys are sick with Fran Lopez, who I think will win this race. That's going to be my tip for this race. And Eric Strachan is 13th.
Right, so let us go through our final formation lap of the year. Matt Richards from Midnight Motorsport relinquishing the team's championship here today. Quite poignant, isn't it? He starts P1 ahead of Matthew Churgwin on debut for Aurora Motorsports. David Yunt now P2 in the championship. He is in the prime position to get as many points as possible. He has got, if he wins this race, then Torborg has to get second to be able to confirm himself as the championship winner. Otherwise, it is David Yunt's. Paul Watkins starts P4 for TWR with Thomas Jacobs P5 for Drake. Fran Lopez starts P6 for Ice Cold with Mike Bell P7 for Mazurk. He's then ahead of rival to Torborg, Easterbeek for Adonis Engineering, and the man himself, Torborg, now leading the championship is P9 for Smile Power without weight as well. Jarl Time rounds out the top 10 for Waters with Sven de Vries P4 in the championship. He is, actually no, sorry, I lie. He's P3 in the championship. He's to beat P4. Sven de Vries is P11 nevertheless. Cameron Brewster with 9 kilograms of penalty weight starts P12. Eric Strana with 18 starts P13 for Ice Cold. Kevin Siggy with 27, starts 14th for Waters. Augustin Canapino with 36 starts 15th for Midnight. And Tim Heinemann with the full 45 kilograms of weight ballast starts P16 for Aurora. David Franchuk starts P17 for Triple 20 with Boyd Bryson P18 for Racing Team Schroten. Tobias Olsen starts P19 for Enterprise, and Bart DeVos rounds out the top 20 for Triple 20. How lovely to round off the year like that. Mike Schroten starts P21 for Mazurek Racing with Paul Joseph P22 for TWR. Alexander van der Wilder starts P23 for Tafor. His teammate Thomas Hinz behind him, also in the Tafor Motorsport car, P24. William Tringa starts P25 for Racing Team Schroten with Ken Hunter P26 for Deltec. Rob Mason starts P27 for Cosmo with Sandeep Choda P28 for Lusitania. Jonas Ravio starts P29 for Enterprise with Quinton Plain P30 for TTF. Morten Wernerson starts P31 for Drake Racing, and he rounds out the grid as we have had 2 people pull out between races.
Can't imagine what the nerves are going to be like for the guys in the championships. I think a few of them won't be that bothered. The likes of Fulberg, who have won championships in other places. As we pointed out before, we don't think Junt's ever won a championship before.
I don't think De Vries has ever won a championship. De Vries has definitely not won a championship here. None of them have won a championship at GPVWC. That's what we definitely know for sure.
Yeah.
So Matt Richards comes in to line up in his pole position slot. We remind you, the top 6 still in with a chance to win the drivers' title. The top 3 teams all in with a chance to win the team's championship. It is all to play for here at the final round, race 20 of the 2014 World Sports Series here at the Autodromo de Monza. We wait now for the lights, and look at how aggressively inwards Matt Richards is facing. He knows what he's doing. We know what we're doing. We're watching the lights. We've got 4, we've got 5, and for the final time in the World Sports Series this year, we are racing. And it was a fantastic start from Torborg in the background there. I've seen that for sure. Decent start from Richards as well. Cherwin got away well as well. And David Junt, who's usually one to fly through the middle too, into the race lead on race at the beginning here. He's not got it his own way. He's gone around the outside of Cherwin though, and he is up into P2. A bit of contact there at the back between the Drake and Jacob's round.
It's De Vries.
Oh, De Vries is round as well. He is pretty much gone. So it's Junt P2 and Torborg is into P4. Lopez 6, Ty in 7th. Ruud Hiesebeek all the way down in P8, and this might confirm that Adonis is now well out of the championship. Brewster 9th, Strana 10th, Hyman 11th, Francis 12th, Bell 13th. Canapino 14th, Olsen now 14th, he gets past Canapino into the De La Roche chicane, a bit of bunching up there as well. Lots of battling in the midfield, but back up at the front, Matt Richards, he only leads by 0.2 of a second. David Junt, he wants this, doesn't he? He's absolutely flying around the 2 Lesmos, getting onto the grass. Matthew Cherwin, P3, he's going to be holding up Junt's teammate Torborg, and it's an awful size. Oh, that's the one, the Waters round, I think. Won the Waters round, it's it must be Kevin Siggy, surely. Yeah, Kevin Siggy, he flies down the border, unfortunately. But an awful start for the 2 Adonis drivers. I think that's them pretty much out. As Cameron Brewster, I think he's in a bit of trouble. Oh, there's lots of battling going on here. Y'all tie in. Battling with Ruud Hiesebeek. And there goes Eric Strana. There goes Eric Strana for Ice Cold Racing. It could not have gone any more pear-shaped for Adonis Engineering if they had tried. Heading into the Parabolica though, it is David Junt.
He's taking Parabolica really tight, and Junt's up the inside, but he's closed him off just about. Lopez is 5th at Ice Cold, and that's, I think, Junt's going to be hoping for Lopez to get up there, because I think it's going to be a 1-2 for a Smile Power as we stand.
I think we're going to be seeing the move here. It's Richards leading from Junt, Torborg, Cherwin, Lopez, Watkins, Ty and Strana, Hiesebeek, Hyman. Here comes David Junt, and provisionally David Junt takes the lead. Oh, they've gone wide. And here comes Torborg. Here comes Torborg. This is going to be crucial. Torborg right in the back of his teammate. And I do wonder whether we are going to be seeing any form of contact between the 2 Smile Power cars. I think he'd be too happy. Or is Junt letting him through, I wonder? Surely not. I think this is a defensive line. Surely he wouldn't let his teammate through, not with a championship at stake. Going to the Deroche. Oh, there is contact! There is contact between the 2. And Junt just stays ahead. Here comes Fran Lopez through on P4. Matthew Cherwin just about staying out. Tobias Olsen out of the game. you know, that's standard from Olsen, unfortunately. Churgwin just about holding on from Fran Lopez, though. I can't believe how well Churgwin is doing here. Wonderful defense at all. Contact between the two. Fran Lopez will not be happy with that. Around the outside of Lesmo 2, he tries. He can't do it, though, unfortunately. And it is all action off the start here. You can't get any more tighter battling if you try. Matt Richards seems to have pulled the gap on Junt and Torborg, as those two are pretty much battling for the driver's title.
At the De La Roche chicane there.
Back here, back with P3, 4 and 5. Lopez through on Watkins, and Watkins has been really held up there. Tyan and Strana battling through a Sky as well, and here comes Heasterbeek. He's going to have to do a lot here. I think he hasn't won this at all. He's got a lot to do.
There's a long way to go yet. A long way to go. Lopez is lining up Churgwin for 4th. I reckon Lopez has the pace to catch the small pile guys near the end of the race, who are both back on the back of Richards now. So as it stands right now, Torborg is champion and Smile Power is team champion.
It's a real champion's performance so far,
I'd love
isn't
to be
it?
In their team speak right now.
Yeah.
Wondering if they're gonna start attacking each other, because I think they'll know that they've won it, being 2nd and 3rd.
Junt wants to take the race win, though. That's the thing. Surely he needs that race win.
Yeah. Well, JT can just stay in 2nd as well. I think the drivers' championship is hinging on whether Lopez can get up the front or whether Richards can do a really good job of defending.
Here we go into the De La Roche chicane with the front 3 now. Richards leads from Junt, from Torborg. I don't think I've ever seen the 2 small power cars too high up. I think with the exception of Hungary's Richards, yeah, he made a mistake. Here comes David Junt. He's going to try and dive for the lead. Surely is. Oh, that's Strada round. Strada's round. And Heasterbeek, he's falling as well. Heasterbeek's gone as well. Oh, it's all gone pear-shaped for Heasterbeek and Strada in race 2 here. I knew there was going to be a bit of bashing. Meanwhile, Junt, he was not able to make a move. And look at this, it's bashing Torborg into the grass. The two of them are going hammer and tong like Rosberg and Hamilton. I can't believe this is quite happening. I thought these two would be a little bit more civil with each other. Not so. David Junt, he wants this so desperately, does the Swiss, and Matt Richards is loving it. He's just saying, thank you very much, lads, you keep on battling, I'm going to take the race win, thank you very much. So that's it, he goes ultra defensive off the exit of Ascari. Here comes Jesper Torborg now. He's actually staying out of the slipstream of Junt rather significantly. I think he's going to try and line up another move into turn 1 as we head into Parabolica now. Maverick is leading from Junt, from Torborg behind Fran Lopez. He's going to try and catch up to the back of these 3 now.
Caught 6 tenths this lap.
Yeah, I watch out for him near the end. He's a dark horse. Tyan 5th, Churgwin 6th, Hyman 7th, Brewster 8th, Franchich up to 9th. Closely followed by Bell, Canapino and Heasterbeek, and then it's quite a way back to find Eunice Bravio. As oh, here goes Junt, yeah.
Alongside.
Ending into turn 1. Junt is ahead on the straight. He brakes later. Richards brakes later again. And Richards just about holds on. Junt, oh, he had to really hug the curb in there, otherwise Torborg was going to have a run. He may very well still have a run, as there's a lot of bashing going on in the background there, I notice. Yeah, what an end to the championship we are witnessing here. The 2 teammates have already come to contact already, and heading into the De La Roche chicane. Oh, everyone's making sure that they're not going into the back of each other. Matt Richards holding on for dear life, but he's made another mistake again. Can David Junt capitalise now? We'll have a look. He's going to the outside. As oh my word, I think Hyman absolutely mounted the chicane there. And down the order he goes. Yeah, Hyman.
Elsie's lost his splitter to Canapino, and he's hit.
And oh, it's Heasterbeek. Oh, dearie me. Well,
it was
I'm not saying anything. Not saying anything. David Junt. Not saying anything. David Junt. It doesn't matter. I mean, one of the smiles has won either way. It's not going to go wrong, is it? Here comes David Junt into Ascari. Just about defending from Matt Richards. As I say, Matt Richards must be absolutely loving this. All he has to do is keep on the black stuff and make sure that, oh, look how defensive he goes. Here goes Torborg. Torborg has had a phenomenal exit out of Ascari there. But look in the background there is Fran Lopez as David Junt. He cuts off his teammate as we head down into Parabolica once again. David Junt is going to have to worry about his weaving though. He doesn't want to do that too many times as we head round Parabolica once again. Excuse me for the snibbles. We're going to be heading onto lap 5 of 12. We're not even halfway through this race yet. Onto the straight we go. Look how much Fran Lopez has caught. 1.9 was the gap, now it's 1.2, but David Junt, he's lining up yet another move on Matt Richards. Yeah, Jesper Torborg trying to get into the slipstream. He can't really do much though. David Junt around the outside of Matt Richards. Can he make it stick? Oh, here goes Torborg. This is Torborg, surely. Wow, how on earth was David Junt able to hold that one up? I have no idea. David Junt, though, is going to try and stay in the slipstream, and Matt Richards getting a little bit of a gap. And those two Smile Power boys have got to watch out for Fran Lopez now. He is absolutely flying up onto the back of them.
He's to beats down in 24th now. Siggy's 22nd. They're both out of it. Heinemann's 23rd. Mike Bell's DNF'd. Looking through the... It's just Junt and Torborg we need to watch now. And
Smiles won instantly.
Yeah.
So it's
unless they take each other out, Ice Cold can still get this.
Well. It's all falling apart for Adonis Engineering, but there is still a chance for Ice Cold to steal something here, to make Smile Power's evening crumble before their very eyes. One Smile Power racing car is definitely going to win this championship, though. It all relies on David Junt finishing in first and Torborg finishing in third, though. So really,
Lopez
the move... Lopez is there as well. The move that has to happen is David Junt must win this race. He must win a 5th race of the season, a 5th reverse grid race of the season, and Richards must be able to hold Torborg behind. I wonder just how desperate David Junt is going to get as we head near enough to the halfway point. Fran Lopez is right with these guys now, and I see trouble brewing. As Brewster, Brewster! What's happened to Brewster? He's falling down the order. Let's have a look here. Oh, he just went wide and there was contact with Canapino. Oh yeah, 4 wide to lead, that's more important,
Lopez
sorry.
has got them all.
Oh, Lopez! Oh, goodness me, David Junt. Oh, it's Mr. Chicane. Here goes Jesper Torborg. Oh, David Junt smashing him out the way. Oh, this is madness. And the two Smile Power cars are going side by side. Fran Lopez is up to P2. Jesper Torborg P4. And oh my word, this is going to go badly, isn't it? Matt Richards, he's still in the lead of this race. He's absolutely laughing. Jesper Torborg, though, he has done all he needed to do. He's gotten into second. Will David Junt make a stab? I think he is going to make a stab, but he's also sort of hard defending off Lopez. I wonder whether that was the move that needs to be done. Oh, you can see how desperate Junt is to get past Torborg. Meanwhile, Matt Richards racing off into the distance. He is absolutely loving this.
Yeah, I was going to say before Lopez got there, it would be an idea for Junt to stay in second and then trying his best to overtake Richards on the last lap. But now I think he needs to get to the front as quick as possible.
Oh, it is
definitely needs to get past Torborg in the next 2 laps because I reckon Lopez is going to dive one of them.
He has to, surely. Oh, goodness me.
Lopez still knows there's a chance of a team's championship here. He has to win and Strana has to get higher. He needs to get past at least Rivio, maybe the 3 cars in front of that. But we've still got half the race left.
To be fair play to Rivio. It's all Torborg. He's going for the lead. Oh, and Lopez! Oh, and that could not have gone any worse for Junt. Nice. Lopez through to third.
Yeah, he flashes lights at Lopez. I think he should just let Lopez go after the 2 in front now. And try and pick up the pieces, but he's not going to.
No, here comes Torborg as well and Richards. The battle for first and second, the battle for third and fourth. It is all kicking off here at Monza. Will Torborg brake later on the brakes? I don't think he's going to be too fast. Surely he knows that if he stays where he is, then he is going to win the championship regardless. He doesn't mind whether it's Richards, Lopez, or Junt in front of him. As long as he's in that second position, that is all he needs to do. As Canapino, what's happened to him?
He just went wider than the first chicane.
And he's gone.
He's quit? Oh, okay.
He's quit. He's rage quit, so he's out of this race. Meanwhile, Torborg right in the back of Richards, and yeah, Junt almost has to rely on Lopez now to try and make something happen for him.
Or Richards, of course.
Or Richards, absolutely.
And Jarl Tyen has caught them probably about 2 seconds in his last 2 laps.
Yeah, the Norwegian's actually in with a chance of a race win here if he plays his cards right. It's only lap 7 of 12. Still plenty of time for him to make that overtake happen.
Lopez got a run off the 2 in front, and Torborg looks like he's going to have a go at Richards.
Into a sky we go. Torborg pulls back in, and
Richards sideways.
And Lopez is right on the back.
Richards
Look at
always
this.
seems to do.
Lopez is right on the back here. He's Oh, he's going wide everywhere, but he's got a decent exit. Here comes Yunt as well. He's going to have a quadruple.
In all of them.
Yeah, he's got a quadruple slipstream. And look at Tyan here as well. 1.8 seconds off. Torborg. He's going to try around the outside of Parabolica. Surely not. No, he has to pull back in.
Wide. Torborg's got up the inside, and Lopez looks like he's trying to follow him through.
And oh, Yunt's too far behind. Surely. Oh, it gets worse and worse for Yunt. I wonder what can happen here. Oh, it's going to go surely 4 wide into turn 1. Lap 8 of 12 we're on now. Here goes Lopez for the race lead. Matt Richards goes to the inside as well. Oh, and here goes David Yunt. He's going to hold on, isn't he? He's going to try and see whether anything bad happens. He's going to try and see whether he can take advantage. Matt Richards takes the lead once again. Yunt, he's going to try and get the best exit, and he does get a wonderful exit out of the chicane. So Matt Richards goes into P1. Torborg P2, Fran Lopez P3, Yunt stays P4, but he's got a decent exit, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him lining up and move on Lopez into the De La Rozier chicane.
Just further back quickly, Brewster is battling Strand really well. He's got ahead of him, actually, and that's halting Ice Cold's charge for the team's championship at this point, and Tyan's right on the back now. He's 1 second behind Richards.
I think we've got to be realistic. Oh, Lopez! Oh my goodness me! Well, that could have ended Torborg's race catastrophically if that had gone through. But I think we've really got to say that something terrible has to happen to both small cars in order for it to go.
And not Lopez at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
As Tyan's having a look at Yunt, and Yunt's having a look at Lopez.
And Torborg's having a look at Richards. He can't do anything, but yeah, Tyan, once again, he is very much the shark among the school of fish, isn't he? He's hungry, he's got nothing to lose, and right now he is really staring up at a podium. He doesn't care that David Yunt is in the championship hunt, he doesn't care that Lopez is in the team championship hunt, and most likely he doesn't care about who on earth the two guys are up front anyway. He's going to try and take Yunt around the outside of Parabolica. Yunt almost bump drafting Fran Lopez around, and Tyan is really looking nearest. Yes, but Torborg takes the lead. Matt Richards goes wide at Parabolica once again, and Torborg takes the lead. Here goes Yunt, he's going on to the outside of Lopez. Meanwhile, Tyan, he's going to go to the inside, and we're going to go 3 wide once again. I fear Yunt's lost this now.
Richards got back ahead of Torborg on the straight.
Oh, straight on speed alone, and breaking into turn 1 we go. Tyan's got the both of them! What a lovely move from the Norwegian Jarl Tyan. P3 for Waters Automotive, and David Yunt's day just gets worse and worse.
Got 4 laps to go now.
Something's got to give, doesn't it? He's going to have to hope, beyond hope, that there is contact ahead of him, surely.
Yeah, especially because the front two have got a little bit of a gap over Tyan. But I reckon Tyan can win this.
Oh, Richards!
He's made another mistake. He slowed down Torborg, but Tyan's made a mistake as well. And that's like Yunt around the outside of Lopez, but he has had to slow down for Tyan, and Lopez hits Tyan, but nothing comes of it.
Oh, here comes Yunt! Here comes Yunt at the inside of Lopez! Oh, and he just didn't have enough speed out of Lesmo 1. He was almost 4-wheel drifting around it with everyone else. It is kicking off here, and I would not be surprised to see at least one incident between these 5 cars by the end of this race.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can, but let's hope it doesn't happen. And let's hope it doesn't happen to one of the championship contenders as well.
Oh, this has been a wonderful end to the WSS season so far.
Yeah. Be one of the corners that nobody's gone side by side into so far. And Eric Strand has dropped behind De Vries now, so I'm pretty sure that's ice cold out of it, even if Smile Power.
I tell you what, we're focusing on these top 5. Shout out to Chergwin, Francic and Ravio as well. Those 3 have just been plugging away at it, and Chergwin, a debut here currently in P6 would be amazing. Francic, another good score for Triple 20. I remember Ravio came all the way back from the back of the grid, so P8 for him is an extraordinary effort. Back to the front now though, Torborg is going to line up yet another move on Matt Richards. David Yunt is going to line up another move on Fran Lopez. Heading into turn 1 we go once again. Tyan the odd one out. Yep, Lopez going late, and Richards trying to hold on from Torborg, and oh, it all bunches up, doesn't it? Here comes Tyan on the inside. Oh, it's all bunched up, and David Yunt is just staring into blank space, isn't he? He's just looking at these guys ahead and thinking, oh, please something happen, please something happen. I need the 25 points. I at least need 20 points. I need something to happen to my teammate, even though I don't want him to go out the race. Conflicting interests, and here goes Tyan! Tyan up into second, surely! Torborg, he mounts the curb and Tyen's over to second, and I think Tyen might be the surprise winner of this race if he plays his cards right. As, oh my word, Rivio in the background mounts the chicane, and I can't believe he managed to keep that in one piece. Meanwhile, Tyen, he's right at the back of Richards. Norwegian coming the favourite as Lopez dives through on Torborg, and here comes David Junt. It's all action, I can't believe this. Here comes Junt. Junt is through into P4. This is absolutely extraordinary. Junt scoring 13, Torborg scoring 11.
Needs 4 more points. Yeah, and it's not enough to take the position in front. He needs 2 more positions.
Oh, Tyen Richards, and here comes Lopez as well. They're all bashing each other.
Tyen's hit Lopez.
This is madness. Oh my goodness me. 6 points is what Junt needs to outscore Torborg by the way. So if Torborg stays in P5, then Junt must get up into second. Through Parabolica we go now. Absolute madness. And my sniddles are getting worse.
Junt has to win. Torborg has to come 3rd or lower. If Junt comes 2nd, Torborg comes 4th or lower.
No, it's 5th or lower, surely.
Oh
my word, will David Junt, can David Junt try and do a late dive? Surely he has to, just go for it, mate, go for it. And he's not gone for it at all. Maybe he's saving it for the last lap, I don't know. But either way, Matt Richards leads from Jarl Tyen, from Fran Lopez, from David Junt. And I wonder whether Torborg has used his tyres up too much, because he is really fallen back from Junt, though. That said,
I think he hit him at the chicane, so he just got a bad accent.
Oh, it is madness, isn't it? Absolute madness. What a finale we are having here. Will Jarl Tyen go for this? Oh my word! And Jarl Tyen's going to go wide, surely. Yep, he relinquishes the lead once again to Matt Richards, and here comes Fran Lopez. He's going to try and go up the inside of Norwegian into Lesmo 1. They're on the grass, they're battling so hard. And Lopez dives through for P2. The Norwegian trying to hold on for dear life. Here comes David Junt. Will he take a late stab into Lesmo 2? I don't think he will, no. He's going to try and fall in as close behind as possible. Lopez goes ultra defensive already. Junt staying on the back, and Matt Richards, once again, he must be absolutely loving this. He's been in the lead for so many laps, and it's all because the battles behind have been keeping them behind. Into Ascari we go. Once again, Lopez ahead of Tyen, ahead of Junt. We're going to be going onto the final lap of the race. Once we cross the checkered line, once we cross the finishing line, Junt has got to do something there. Surely he's got to be thinking, let's line up the move for Parabolica now, and let's see what we can do into turn 1. Indeed, he doesn't make a move through Parabolica, and he is lining this up perfectly. He gets on the power, and he's now going to have a double slipstream, courtesy of Lopez and courtesy of Tyen. Here we go. Final lap of 2014 in the World Sports Series. David Junt, look at this. He's absolutely cruising now. He's going to go to the inside, surely. Lopez blocks him off. He's going to go middle, and he's going to have to try it somewhere else, I fear. Look at this, and all Tyen and Lopez, they're going into each other.
Oh, they hit each other.
Here goes Junt. Here goes Junt. And oh, my word.
And Torborg's got to the inside.
Oh, it's all gone wrong. It's all action now. And yeah, there's got to be more contact, surely. David Junt must be absolutely kicking himself. He needed to make...
saw the door open and it just slammed in his face.
Is he going to go into... surely he's got to dive. Oh, he's going for it with Torborg. Yep. He's going with it with Torborg. And he's going around the outside of Torborg now. Into the 2 Lesmos we go.
2 in front now.
Yeah, he needs more than this, surely. He needs 2nd place.
Oh,
and he's gone wide. And it is a picturesque image for the championship. He needed to nail that perfectly. And Torborg's gone wide as well. Oh my goodness me, this is incredible. Jesper Torborg versus David Junt. Junt right in the slipstream of his Danish teammate. What Junt needs now is for Tyen and Lopez to get into some form of contact where they both come ahead of Torborg and he comes into 2nd. I don't think that's going to happen though. Junt is now ahead of Torborg, but I do wonder whether Torborg's just thinking Junt can't do this, surely. Meanwhile, Matt Richards, he leads by 1.3 seconds. Tyen is lining up Lopez. This is madness going into the Parabolica. Tyen v Lopez. Junt. Oh, Tyen! Oh, what a lovely move. That was... Oh, my word! Oh, my word! Come on! Where is Junt? Where's Junt? Oh, he's nowhere behind. Matt Richards for Midnight Motorsport. He takes the final win of the season. Lopez just about gets 2nd. Tyen 3rd. Junt 4th. And in 5th place, he hasn't taken a single race win this year. Jesper Torborg is your 2014 World Sports Series champion. What a race that was! David Frančić 6th, Matthew Churgwin 7th, Eunice Ravio from the back of the grid P8, Cameron Brewster 9th, De Vries 10th, De Vos 11th, Strana 3rd, 12th, Heasterbeek 13th, Siggy 14th, and the point scorers are rounded out by Morten Bernersen. Your retirements in the race were Tobias Olsen, Ken Hunter, Mike Bell, Augustin Canapino, Quinton Plain, and Sandeep Choda. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your championship done and dusted. Jesper Torborg takes the driver's title, and Smile Power in the end romps home with the team's title.
And what a final race to go with it as well. It wasn't the cleanest race, I'll put that out there, but it was great entertainment. Championship on the line. I just wish every championship in motor racing's like this.
Do you mind if I take on some water?
That is absolutely fine by me.
Strawberry flavoured water as well. Really good stuff.
Very nice. Making me jealous I don't have a drink.
Go and get one after the race, mate. Oh, indeed, now. But yeah, we're going to be getting our championship winner, Jesper Torborg, into the room. And what a shame for Davy Junt, but I was looking at that race, I was looking at what Junt was doing, and he wasn't taking those chances when they appeared for him. You know, he needed to take some risks.
If he was on the back into the last corner, he could have got it. I don't know if he gave up halfway around the final lap, but if he was there, I reckon he could have got it, because there was a lot of contact going into that last corner, and I know Tyne's not happy about Lopez taking second. Hope there's no penalties that go with it, but at the end of the day, I think it'll be Junt in front of Tulberg, either first, second, third, or third, fourth, or fifth. So Tulberg will still be champion, and the Smile Boys won't get penalties. I highly doubt.
No, absolutely not. Right then, Eric Strana joins us from Ice Cold Racing. So near, yet so far with Ice Cold. I mean, Adonis had an awful round. Ultimately, Smile were just far too dominant in the final race. But for you yourself, a good event all round at least. Good points scored.
Yeah, not quite what I needed. I mean, I have to apologize to Sven. I think I spun him in the first corner. So when he finally caught up to me afterwards, I just decided to push him around, rather I should say, to try and catch Cameron, but that didn't work. But yeah, not quite what I needed for points, but you know, considering I missed four races or something, then I won't complain that bad.
Absolutely, and well, there's not really much to talk about now. I believe that Ice Cold have taken second, if I'm not mistaken with my maths. So a decent championship overall for you. Will you be coming back next year with Ice Cold?
We'll see. Depends how schedules and everything work. Probably if there's an interest. Myself, maybe if there's interest.
Yeah. Well, I certainly hope there is interest. You're a credit to this field. And thank you very much for joining us, Eric. Unlucky on missing out at the end of it. We now move on to Kevin Siggy, who of course took pole position, your first and indeed last pole of the year. You took the podium in race 1, but ultimately you were just too far behind to have any sort of impact on the title races.
I'm just here to have fun. It was a nice race. Race 1 was pretty good. I don't know how Tim got these times. I'm not sure. He was very fast, but I had some good fights with Canapino. Of course, Canapino kind of going off track a little bit. I don't know, maybe lag. But I'll see how he did on the replay. But race 2 was a bit unlucky for me. I touched the curb on the second Lesmo and spun. But I'm happy that with 27 kilograms I went back to P14. And I had some nice fights with Heasterbeek. And I'm looking forward for the next year, and that's pretty much it.
So you're definitely confirmed for next year, are you?
Of course.
Excellent. We will love to see you back, whoever that is with. We will not know until next year, I guess. But thank you very much for joining us, Kevin, and well done on your pole and podium today. Next up, let's go to the winner of race 2 and the final winner of 2014, Matt Richards. You must have absolutely loved that, because you always seem to be under pressure, but the guys behind you were just fighting out so much that you didn't really have to keep an eye on your rearview mirror.
You trust me, I was looking a lot. Going into the first race tonight, I realised that I had a bit of a problem with my brake pedal, and I was only getting about 90% of my brakes. So, a very interesting race. I had to work quite hard for that.
Yeah, and of course, Midnight scoring a final win before they relinquished the team's title to Smile. I'm not sure what your plans are next year. I'm not sure whether you know anything about Midnight, but perhaps you could share anything. Are you coming back with them next year? Is the plan to retake the team's title?
I hope so. I like to come back next year, and if I'm offered the drive again, then I'll definitely take it. So hopefully I can come back next year and have some better luck and more wins to the tally.
We'd love to see it. Thank you very much for joining us, Matt. Sorry for the quick interviews. We've got a lot of people to get through here. Next up, we're going to be tackling the actual championship protagonists themselves. First of all, probably one of the biggest losers from tonight, Sven de Vries. Race 2 just saw everything go wrong for Adonis Engineering possible. It was a real shame, as luck has been the one thing which has eluded you this season, and once again, it just wasn't there.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been right if I had some luck this evening. So, you know, I really finished the season in a way it started. Yeah, obviously had a lot of bad luck, blown engines, hit by people, you know, ghost cars. It was a disaster. Race 2, you know, ended in turn 1. After that, you know, I figured I'd still kept on going, because I don't know, you know, you never know what happens. But unfortunately, nothing happened. Still, I had a fun race, regardless of the position. Lots of overtakes. Glad to finish in P10. I think I finished third in the championship. So definitely, congratulations to Jesper and Smile. You know, they did really well, as well as for Ice Cold. Didn't think they would still be up there, and you know, good job.
Looking towards next year, is the plan to keep the Adonis Engineering lot together and just hope that you have a better year? Because at the start of the year, you and Adonis were very much my tips for the team's title. You've got a very strong outfit there, and it proved it so, because you were right in it to the end with both drivers and the team itself. You know, is that the plan for next year at least, just to try and keep everything together and go for it again in 2015?
We'll see. I mean, we haven't discussed that yet. Obviously, you know, Menno who owns Adonis is a very good friend of mine on route. So regardless of where we drive, we'll be always practicing together, and we'll see. I mean, I prefer to pair up with Root again, but we'll see. We'll see what happens and what Adonis is going to do next year, and if the World Sports Series is even going to be in GPVWC next year.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining us, Fen. I certainly hope to see you next year in some form or another. And then commiserations. It really pains me to be talking to you after losing out like that, David, but you gave it your all, and unfortunately it just wasn't enough at the end.
Well, yeah, I'm really disappointed right now, because my plan actually was to stick close to Jesper Conqual in race 1, but I knew why I said that I wanted to be far ahead of everyone after Spa at least, because I just don't like fast tracks like Monza where you have to hit the lines, and with so many ballast weights I was never gonna really like racing on straight anyway, because people were just coming like a rocket and pass you on the straight, more or one car or two, whatever. So I'm already back in P17 in qualifying, which was too much in my opinion. I would have needed to be much closer, like top 12, but it wasn't to be. I tried my best. I tried to be safe after crashing in Spa, but it wasn't a good lap, or at least not good enough to be fast. Race 1, let's just say I was just trying to stick to the top 50 just to get a good reverse grid, which was actually, well, was all open, because I at least made the best and tried to keep the car in top 15, as it was the biggest struggle of the season I ever had with weight here. But I made it to P3 for the second race, and well, I was second after the first chicane, but Matt, I just couldn't get the drive to pass him. He squeezed me out on the first chicane, I think once, and then everyone caught up, and to my bad luck, Jesper survived all of the stuff behind, so I could have turned it around on the last lap. I mean, Fran and Jarl were close at it, lost drive, but I was just not good enough out of the last turn to catch them. So it's just a team championship and me being 4 points down. And if I'm 4 points down behind Jesper, I'm really disappointed, because before certain somebody was taken off the standings, I would have been 5 points ahead. So it even hurts a lot more than just losing out straight here in the championship.
Message at the end of the day: don't cheat, ladies and gentlemen. Back to you and your plans for 2015, though, David. I've got sort of like a two-part question. Firstly, are you planning to come back next year? And secondly, are you planning to come back with Smile? Because often when you have a team's championship or a driver's title go like this, where the one person you have been beaten by is your teammate, I'm sure it can be quite tempting to move off to a different outfit, of course.
Firstly, well, depends on what we're gonna race. I quite enjoy, well, the Porsche has its, or well, whatever, flat six, I have to say flat six, sorry. The car is, well, a bit tough to drive at times, especially with the ballast, as I said, but I quite like to use it in this championship, so I would be back driving it. And secondly, well, I tried, actually, before the season I wanted to have Basile on the grid. Didn't work out, so, and THR didn't enter, so I was asking around, and then, well, I got a place at Smile. We should say, sort, I'll probably race at Smile if I miss out on my own team, probably, but you know, sometimes it's good to have a teammate that is really pushing you to the end to make you show your best racing. So it probably wouldn't hurt having Jesper as a teammate again next season, but we'll see about that.
Wise words, wise words. Well, commiserations once again, David. Perhaps I could bring you in also, though, for our final interview, including Smile Power Racing team owner Mike Bell. And of course, at the end of the day, Smile Power absolutely romped home with the team's title. I don't think race 2 could have gone any better for you if you tried. I think there were a few moments for you, surely, Mike, where you were like, oh god, and you know, especially when David and Jesper are in close proximity to each other. But at the end of the day, well deserved, and you'll have the number 1 and 2 cars for next year, or 0 and 2 car, whichever one it works.
Yeah, hopefully we'll retain the number 1 car, although there are disputes as to whether Jesper will continue sim racing next season. Hopefully he does, but yeah. I got the unfortunate satisfaction of being able to watch from the sidelines in race 2 to see both David and Jesper trying to battle their way past Matt while having Jarl and Fran coming up behind him, incredibly aggressive, and I wished I was still in the race just so I didn't have to watch.
Yeah, it was frantic stuff even up here.
The edge of the seat was being used.
But at the end of the day, it's a result that worked out very, very well for you, and I don't really think I have to ask you, surely you're coming back to defend your title next year?
I don't know, I think we'll take a season off.
Oh, really? Oh,
just kidding.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think Smile Power, out of all the new teams here this season, have really embedded themselves as one of the top outfits, as has been proven this season. And it'd be hard to see them go for sure. So, firstly, thank you very much for entering your outfit, and we certainly will be very interested to see whether you can become the first WS outfit to retain a team's title, because that has never been done before.
Well, I mean, hopefully we can do that. I guess once next season's announced, I'll have to contact a few people and see what's what, and hopefully bring just as strong, if not a stronger lineup next season.
Right, thank you very much for that, Mike, sorry, and David, and everyone else who joined us for interviews, both here and throughout the season. Ben, your thoughts, if any?
Mental last race. I'm definitely wanting to watch it back now. Can't wait for it to come out, and I hope everyone enjoyed it as well. The whole season. Been one of the best in sim racing I've ever seen, and I hope everyone agrees with that.
We have yet to find out what is going on next year with WSS, but before next year, there's still plenty going on. There's plenty to come in the next 2 weeks of sim racing. Coming up next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the career ladder returns, and we're heading to, for the first time in GPVWC, the Circuit of the Americas with Open Series Formula Challenge on the Tuesday, Super Cup on the Wednesday, and then the American Grand Prix on the Thursday. And then the alternate weeks are a bit quieter from now on with the absence of WSS. But on Monday, after the career ladder, it is the International Touring Cup, and we're going to be heading to my personal favourite track, Laguna Seca. It is not one to be missed, and also, I'd keep an eye on the forums if I were you. There may be a couple of announcements coming your way. We'll just have to find out, won't we? To all of you who watched the 2014 World Sports Series season, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate on it. A huge thank you to my cameraman throughout all of it, Dave Carr-Smith. He's been here using all his time as well as admin stuff and all that going on. Wonderful guy. Thank you so much for doing the cameras. I'd like to thank my two co-commentators from this year as well. Of course, we had Ben Hackeson for the majority of it, and we also had Sam Jones stepping in, Belgium. It's been a pleasure to have in the box, and I certainly hope to see both, if not at least one of you next year. I've been James Kirk, and from all of us here at the 2014 World Sports Series season, have a nice year. Goodbye for now.